Now on Newsday TV, one more day. The heat advisory continues, but a break in the scorching heat is on the horizon. It's Wednesday, July 17th. I'm Jasmine Anderson. Good morning to everyone. More on the heat in a moment. First, it is day 3 of the Republican National Convention. Former Long Island Congressman Lee Zeldin is scheduled to speak today in Milwaukee. Tonight, Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance is set to take the stage. Last night, former rivals that is, of Donald Trump, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, endorsed him for president. And now Republican leaders think Trump could flip our state red. Sherry Einhorn explains.
New York State has long been considered a Democratic stronghold. The last presidential candidate to claim victory there was Ronald Reagan in 1980 and 1984. But state GOP leaders are now saying they're eyeing New York as a competitive hotspot for Donald Trump before the November election.
It's part of his political DNA as a New Yorker, as a Queens boy. He wants to win New York. But on the other hand, if we're winning New York, it's a landslide.
Democrats significantly outnumber Republicans in New York, leading some analysts to question what exactly the GOP plans to accomplish there.
The idea that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance could carry New York is less than slim to none. New York is not in play in a sense of Donald Trump winning the state, but it is very much in play in terms of influencing national politics for at least the next 2 years in terms of the competitive congressional races.
Former Long Island Congressman Lee Zeldin, who's here in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention, told me a Trump victory in New York is dependent on one thing: voters voting on the actual issues, pointing to polls that show less of a margin than in 2020.
Listen, if New York is within 6 points when it used to be 23. Think of what that shift means in New Jersey, Virginia, New Hampshire, Minnesota, New Mexico, Colorado, and elsewhere. So the battleground for the presidential race is clearly a map that's expanding. It will always be an uphill battle. But this is not impossible. Yes, it's difficult. It is daunting. But President Trump has been doing campaign events inside of New York. He's been making progress.
Zeldin is expected to address the convention here on Wednesday. He told us his speech will be mainly focused on the importance of foreign policy. Obviously, everyone is also waiting to hear from Donald Trump himself, but that won't happen until Thursday. In Milwaukee, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
Sherry, thank you. See more on our team coverage from the Republican National Convention on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Another emotional day expected in a Mineola courtroom. The hearing continues for the Roslyn man accused of killing 2 teens in a wrong-way crash. Yesterday, prosecutors played a portion of police body camera footage from the night Amandeep Singh was arrested last year. It shows Singh admitting to police that he was drinking and driving. His defense team wants the evidence suppressed from the upcoming trial. They say their client was in custody at the time the statements were made and should have been notified of his right against self-incrimination. Singh is facing several charges, including vehicular homicide in the crash that killed 14-year-old star tennis players Ethan Falkowitz and Drew Hassenbein. A Brentwood pastor is expected back in court today, accused of sexually exploiting children. In April, Jose Saez Jr. pleaded not guilty to 12 federal charges. Prosecutors say Saez, who worked at Iglesia Cristiana Alumbrando El Camino Church in Brentwood, engaged in explicit interactions with 4 or more minors. A pay bump for dozens of workers in Huntington. 43 Town of Huntington employees got 6% raises last month. The town supervisor says the employees had not received a raise since before the pandemic. On Monday, Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman signed into law a bill banning transgender females from participating in girls' sports at county facilities, but there are questions over how it will be enforced. Macy Eglund has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
This policy could inflict a lot of shame and harm on many people. I mean, what are they going to do in Eisenhower Park? Ask people to pull down their pants?
More questions than answers over how Nassau County plans to enforce its recently approved bill banning transgender female athletes from competing in women's and girls' sports at county facilities.
It's not anti-anything. It's pro-women. It's just common sense. Biological males shouldn't be competing against biological females. We know they're bigger, stronger, and faster.
The bill was passed by the county legislature on June 24th, but county officials have not responded to our questions over exactly what changes it would create.
The county hasn't said how they will enforce it. The county has said nothing to this effect, other than it's a case-by-case scenario and that they don't want to humiliate them. So that's led opponents to say this is really just political bluster.
When applying for permits to use county property, interested groups will be required to disclose information about athletes. Nassau officials say the bill is meant to prevent injuries, but opponents say it will only create harm.
This is just a piece of legislation that is hateful in nature, unnecessary, does not address a problem at all, and will only continue to further to discriminate against the transgender community.
Top governing officials told Newsday public school sports teams with transgender female athletes will not use county facilities. Reporting for NewsdayTV, I'm Macy Eglund.
New York's Attorney General and the New York Civil Liberties Union have sued Nassau over the ban. Read more about the story on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. The Long Island Game Farm has a few new furry friends ready to say hello to you. Beth Whitehouse has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
From giant beast to creepy bug to animals so cute you just want to hug. These are the newest residents of the Long Island Game Farm this summer. First, say hello to Lily and Dilly, the capybaras. What's a capybara? Seems like all the kids know. They're super popular on TikTok and Instagram.
There are like memes of them, of like them decked out in sunglasses, or some of them are like riding on surfboards and stuff like that. And they're just known to be like pretty chill animals and stuff.
Viewing these large rodents is free with admission. Purchase the optional capybara encounter and you can feed them and take selfies. Next stop, the camels.
All right, guys, so these are our two camels, Chuck and Bear. We are gonna go and feed them some carrots. So here's what we do. Take a little bit, hold it at the end, and they take it just like that. Very simple. Yeah, try it out. For you as well.
Is this like their version of candy?
A little bit. It's a treat for them. We do the camel counters twice a day for free. You can come up, I can give you a carrot or two, and we can feed them.
Our last stop is to meet the bugs.
So my favorite new species to bring in this year is a Madagascar hissing cockroach. And one of the educators will bring them out during the day. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to let one climb on your hand.
He's so big.
Oh, it feels kind of tickly. Okay, your turn.
Don't let it go.
Your turn, Matthew.
You gotta like juggle them in your
Ready?
hand so that it doesn't go off your arm. I'm scared.
It feels kind of fun.
Oh, it's sticky. That's so sticky.
Matthew, I'm proud of you.
So
You were saying you
real.
didn't want to do it.
It's so real.
For Newsday TV, I'm Beth Whitehouse.
Read more about the new rivals at the Long Island Game Farm on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Checking out your hyperlocal Wednesday weather. It's another hot and humid day across the island. Here's a look outside at Westcott Cameron Beach and Bridgehampton. The heat advisory continues until tonight. Checking out your day planner, a mix of clouds and sun today, highs in the 80s. Feels like temperatures will be in the 90s and near 100 in some spots. And here's a look at your futurecast. Rain and possible strong storms roll in tonight. Spotty showers could linger into tomorrow morning. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Still warm, but less humidity starting tomorrow.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Islanders save on their energy bills for over 20 years.
I'm Jasmine Anderson. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.